you all were put through on opening night.
It's a great starting point for us because a lot of different things. I thought they dictated the tempo of the game early, and I thought we were able to get some of our pressure and some of our stuff in the game in the second half. We had to weather the storm of the Shengun shots were really tough shots. Tip your hat to him, and we just kind of hung with the game and worked the game. And then a lot of situations down the stretch, situations that you got to be able to handle the right way. That I thought we did a pretty good job of for this early in the season. So there's a lot of good learning in the game.
You guys aren't new to games like this, but with distractions, the emotions of the game, how impressed were you with their poise in the game, like especially the Rockets? Like, seemed like they had the momentum majority of the night.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy night. I thought we got some great shots that didn't go down. And Houston played well, made plays. I'm glad the guys enjoyed the ceremony. It's a great life event for everybody, and I'm glad they enjoyed it. But they also compartmentalized pretty well. I didn't think we had quite the bite that we normally do early, but that might have been whatever. So I thought we got back on it, and second half we were way more in character.
Late there in the fourth quarter, both overtime. What did you think about the patience that you guys showed? I mean, Lou, Kaysen had open threes, Caruso had an open three, but found a way to get a much better look for you guys. Some didn't go, but some did.
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well. They zoned us late, which is hard. When a team goes to it that late, they hadn't done that in the game flow, and they settled into a zone when Thompson went out. And I thought our attacks again for the first game of the season is a good starting point for us. Not perfect, but a lot we can learn from, and that's what we have to do with the game. We have to learn from it.
I know as a coach you look at the collective, but I wanted to talk to you about AJ Mitchell and just how he handled the offseason and obviously coming in.
Yeah, not surprised. I mean, he was kind of playing like this, before he got hurt last year. So we knew, what we had with him, and yeah, he's done a great job over the summer with his body, as you mentioned, and has come into training camp when he hasn't been hurt and done really well. And so this was his first game action since a couple preseason games ago. So came in with confidence and aggression, and we're gonna need that from him. But no one was surprised by how he played tonight.
You mentioned the fourth quarter of those overtime. Shea had 24 of his points during that stretch. Obviously, it's nothing new at this point, but just can you kind of speak to his continued ability to be able to rise to those moments?
Yeah, I think him and the rest of the team, he just stays in the game. It wasn't a perfect night for him, but he just stays in it. He understands the 48-minute nature. He understands the 82 game nature. It's not always going to be perfect. And tonight wasn't perfect, for us collectively. And the guys just kind of played the next play, never lost our focus or resolve. He was certainly included in that, but I thought the whole group did a great job.
Yeah, Coach, I feel like Kaysen's energy was like on fire the entire night, but especially in the second half. Can you just talk about how his intensity kind of fueled that second half comeback?
Yeah, I think the stretch in the third that he played was that stretch of the game was when I thought we changed the tone of how we were playing. Early in the game, we were playing kind of a size game. They were playing very slow, and we were just kind of on our heels with them, and we weren't able to get the tempo into the game that we need to against a team like that. And then in the third, we get that going. I thought Alex helped with that early, and I thought he really helped with that. So that changed how the terms that the game was being played on. Um, and obviously, it was still a slog, but I thought we did a good job of course correcting, and he was a big part of it.
Michael Mark, let's talk Thunder. Mark, what sort of happened? What was the exchange late, sort of the first overtime? What looked like KD called the timeout. You guys were talking to officials.
Yeah, I saw what I saw. I said what I said. I said my piece on the court. I'm not going to do it here. Zach Zarb is a finals official that we have a lot of trust in. Jason Goldenberg, I've known for a decade. He's been in the G League, and um, I trust those guys on the game. I said what I needed to say, and I'm over it now.
You mentioned with Shea being tough early, tougher to even get a shot up in the first half. Why was it so difficult to get him going early, and what freed him up forward into the OTs?
I think early he was trying to establish a tone of moving it a little bit. I thought he was aggressive, but he was also aggressive to get off it and pass and activate his teammates. He accepted the double teams and got it out. He made some really nice plays. And then obviously when it's down the stretch like that, we're trying to shake him free more intentionally, and we were able to do that. He was able to do that. The guys did a good job. I thought Hartenstein late in the fourth did a great job of freeing him up on the break and giving him a lot of space. and tempo. But I thought early he was trying to let the game come to him and activate his teammates. And Houston did a good job. They doubled him. They were sending guys to him. And he was just letting the game tell him what to do.
Yeah, Mark, this is one of the bigger teams in NBA history you played. It seemed like almost every matchup, significant size disadvantages. How'd you feel you held up against that? What were the pros and cons of that situation?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I was saying about the first half, tempo. We played the first half on their terms. They play slower with that team, and they play right at your nose with their size. And so we kind of fought our size against their size in the first half and lost. And then I thought in the third, we started to get our speed into the game on both ends of the floor, changed the terms of the game a little bit, got back into our identity a little bit more. And like I said, it was still difficult. They still played really well, but we did a good job of kind of tapping back into our identity after we drifted a little bit.
Can you just talk about the job you guys, particularly Lou, did on KD, not him involved at the top of the game?
Yeah, I mean, Lou's amazing. That's a guy he's given up, however many inches, in size too. So I mean, he's an unbelievable defender. He's proven that time and again. Everything is earned against him. And a guy like Durant's a great player, great scorer, and so he's still going to get some. But Lou's going to make you earn everything, and he made him earn everything tonight.
It seemed like the full court pressure kind of took them out of their sets early on. How would you assess how impactful that was overall?
Yeah, I thought we got to that more late, and early we were kind of conceding that. Some of that's like the way we picked up Thompson. You can pick him up lower, but it's also Case and Wallace. And that's probably on us. We're lowering the pickup points there, and in the second half, I was just like, forget that. Go do your thing, and it was a little better for us. It got us back into our stuff a little bit. But the guys did a great job.
Coach, when you talk about Chet Holmgren in that first half offensively, he seemed to kind of carry you guys and just playing a little more physical this year. Did you notice that, especially against that big line?
He played great, but not surprised with the way that he attacks his summers and off seasons. He eats and sleeps hoops, so he gets better every season. This is how he started last season, and so it's a good game for him to build on. But I thought he played with great flow, confidence. He played inside the team. He was very, very good on both ends.
It seemed like he was antsy in a good way to really get out there and kind of showcase what he's doing.
Yeah, he's not hiding. Chet?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not hiding. He's not hiding.
Anyone else? We can go Barry for the last one.
Yeah, I didn't have Bernheiser or Youngblood playing in the first 12:01 of the season. What led to using those guys so early?
Barnheiser's preseason. He's a guy that he's got some real stuff that we value, and he's made continuous improvement. He's not a polished player yet, but I thought he did a really good job in his minutes tonight. And then CY was a situational thing. We had the ball with 5 seconds left, and he's a great shooter, so it was a situational sub. But we want guys to always be ready, and we got to put our money where our mouth is.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thanks.